Bushwick, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and I've lived in Crown Heights, East New York. I've lived all over, but this is my home.
I never knew that.
I didn't know you knew that.
No, but this is why I want to know. I want to have conversation with people to know things about them.
Girl, I'm from up the street.
Where's your family from?
My family's from down south, North Carolina, and some parts of Asia somewhere. There's some fish there.
Okay. Yeah. Have you always had locks? I'm just staring at your beautiful hair.
More than half my life. I've had them for over 20 years. 22, 3, yeah.
When was the first time you had locks? Like?
It took me a while to actually lock because I was afraid, so I would wear my hair twisted and start to look like it was locked. I was like, no, I can't. I'm scared. No, and one day I just sat down and did it, and I said, I'm going for it. So
how has that been for the industry, though?
You know what? I felt at times, especially early on, I felt that people were iffy in terms of whether they wanted to call me in for work or not, and they wanted me to. They didn't ask me, but I felt like they wanted the wig thing to come out. I'm like, I don't wear wigs. I'm not changing my hair. And people were like, oh, you should at least buy wigs. And my hair was very long and thick back in the day. And I'm like, I can't even put a wig on it. So this is me. This is part of my identity. Not all of it, just part of it. And I'm stuck. It's stuck with me. Yeah.
Do you feel like you didn't get a job because of that?
I can't say. Like, you feel certain things in different rooms, and then I'll see who got the job. And like, maybe it had something to do with, with my hair. But I didn't want to be super sensitive to it, but I'm also in this business, and I can see and hear. It's like, you didn't see this 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago. Now it's everywhere. Natural hair, it's everywhere, and it's still not necessarily locks as much as it is frizzy or curly or afro. So we're in, and I'm trying to make a space for us to normalize the look.
Before you get to what you're working on right now and what we can see you in, what have you done?
I've recently given myself the name of the 30-year overnight success. I've been doing this for a long time.
30-year
overnight success. Because people are like, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. I've been in the trenches for a long time, not just doing background work in small parts, but I've been a PA, I've also been a stylist assistant, I've done craft services, I've driven equipment trucks, I've done everything you could name behind the scenes, and I love all of it. But my goal is always to be in front of the camera and part of telling the stories. And one of my first, I won't say legitimate, but one of my first quote-unquote big roles was, not big roles, but speaking roles was in Precious. Lee Daniels gave me my first shot.
Wow.
Yeah, I auditioned for the Sherry Shepherd guy. And I wasn't Sherry Shepherd, so I didn't get it. But he offered me the smaller part. He was like, you can have it if you want. I like you, but we're going with her for this, but you can definitely have that. And so now I've been known as the fried chicken lady that Precious stole the chicken from for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that, because sometimes, when you don't book that role, you never know.
You never know.
You never know. So when they told you that you didn't get Sherry Shepherd's role, was that other role there already for you to audition as? Like, was that an option?
I don't know if it ever really was. Oh. If you know what I'm saying?
Right.
If she wouldn't if it's about the name,
right?
Why bother with me in the first place? You have to go with the name,
right?
But, yeah.
I think people do that, or directors and producers do that, because it funnels in more people that they can use instead of doing another casting.
Yeah. There might be something to that. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
Ah,
the fried chicken lady.
Yeah. And I cringe. I'm like, oh gosh.
No, everything.
And matters. I was so mean to her when I met her. I saw her years later, like 3 years ago. We were at the Apollo, and I was apologizing. I was like, I'm sorry. She said it was acting. I'm like, I know, but I was so nasty. I don't like being nasty.
Right.
But it was very memorable.
Right.
It became part of who I am.
I love it. But so, what have you done? Tell us.
It was Orange is the New Black.
Yes.
Yeah,
a lot of people on that show.
I mean, so many people, you don't even know who's been on the show. Like, you can bump into someone and be like, hey,
Orange is the New Black is like Law and Order.
Yeah.
Almost everyone has been on that show.
Yes. I've only done Law and Order as a background actor. I never got a speaking role on Law and Order. But
so after them,
Orange gave me a chance. And it's interesting because I couldn't get any work. I couldn't find anything. And a friend of mine, a sister, she's a stunt coordinator. So We were trying to figure out a way I can get a stunt job on Orange is the New Black because I wasn't working, wasn't making any money. She's like, okay, we're going to pad your resume. I'm not saying her name. I'm going to get it. We're going to pad your resume. You're athletic. You can do this, blah, 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 blah. Never worked out. Never saw the show. A friend of mine was like, have you ever auditioned for Orange is the New Black? I was like, I don't know what that is. She said, check it out. It's on Netflix. Check it out. This was before. I'm sorry. Before. So I was like, okay. I looked at the show. I didn't like it. I didn't like the first episode. What is this? what is this? Second episode. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it one more episode.
Right.
And it hooked me. I got hooked, and I was like, okay, it is good. They have depth. The characters are, multidimensional. It's not just a bunch of crazy women in prison. So it sucked me in, and I got an audition maybe a week later.
You have an agent. You had an agent.
I had a manager.
A manager. Mm-hmm.
And I got sent in, and I didn't get it. And I went in again, and I didn't get it. And the third time, they were like, you got it.
Okay.
So I was a bad guy. I'm always a bad guy. And I'm from Brooklyn, but I'm so nonviolent. I'm like, I'm a prison thug, really? I had relatives calling me like, what are you doing? I was like, I know, right? I'm in jail beating people down. But it was really, really a great experience. And I say that because there were so many women in charge behind the scenes.
Right.
I mean, women crew, nothing against the men.
Right.
Lots of women in crew and writers and just directors. It was amazing.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
And they called me back. I think I did 4 seasons off and on as Rima Cal.
So when was the last time you have had hot chocolate? Like good hot chocolate?
Good hot chocolate?
Not like the
What was his name? I'm sorry.
Oh.
What was his name? Oh, that's lovely. That's really nice. It's different.
I am honored to have you here because not only that you're a Black actor, but I like the fact that you didn't feel like you had to compromise your hair. And yes, and it is for me when I have certain roles that I'm going out, I always have to ask, well, what do you want me to do with my hair? Because I don't want inside of when you get on set and they're trying to work your hair, they want to fry it out. I was like, I got wigs for that. Just tell me what you need first before you try to manipulate my curls.
Exactly. I show up to set with a scarf on and my hair done.
Right.
I do hair. I've done hair since I was 12. So if I get there and they want it to look a little bit different, that's fine. But most of the time, if I auditioned a certain way and they like that, I come looking like that.
Okay.
And I get my gel, lay it down, put my scarf on, I show up to set. It's done. Oh, your hair is great. Thank you.
No
touching.
Right.
I've had, Skip done a few things, but basically it's what I do when I show up. It's done already. So you don't have to say, oh, what do we do with this? Because lots of times, you don't have to be a sister to know how to do natural hair or whatever, or to style it, but a lot of times people are playing and don't know what they're doing.
Right.
Because it's not been something that they've ever done before. So I'm like, okay, you don't know what you're doing. Get from behind me.
Right.
I got it.
Right.
I got it.
I remember Simone Missick had an interview.
Congratulations, Simone.
Right?
Yes.
I love her.
Yes.
She's my best friend from afar.
Oh, me too, because I don't know her. I used to
her.
work with her husband off and on. I've worked with him.
Dorian.
Yeah, but congratulations, Simone.
Huge. But she had an interview where they were asking her about her hair, and it was true that she loses sleep. And that's how I felt when I had to come in. I had to do my own hair first before, and then it's like, okay, this is what it is.
Yeah.
If not, I'm wearing a wig.
Right.
And she's worn pieces and cornbraid her hair under because she said that that teasing after you've done what you do, I have to go home now and work with that.
It's horrible. I've watched it happen to women, and not just women of color. They are tearing your hair up.
Yeah.
Heat and blowing out and pressing. They're doing so much to your hair. When I do see women who opt to wear wigs, I understand it to a certain extent because it's saving their own hair.
Right.
Tyra Banks said she said I wore cornrows and wigs. My hair was usually cornrow just to save my own hair from the processing.
Yes.
So
Because I remember having to cut
Mm.
because the strands were straight and then it was curly.
They damaged it.
I was like, yo, this is not happening anymore. So that's why I have an array of wigs, short, blonde,
choices.
Many.
Yeah.
So
that's the one thing I don't have because my hair is too thick, and I was like, I wish I could wear wigs.
I'm sure someone can finagle it if you ask. With the right money, you can get anything done.
You hear that, Hollywood?
With the right money, she can get a wig that's laid properly, But you don't need that. Your hair is beautiful. So when was the first time you started acting? And then when was the first role that you had? I know we talked about it a little bit, of where you felt like, let's go.
Well, I started when I was very young. I used to dance, and I remember maybe I was about 9 or 10. I was enamored with black people in the TV. Not on the TV, in the TV, because most of our television, we weren't on TV like that.
Right.
So I'd see Good Times or the Jeffersons, or I'd see these, I'm old, I'd see Rosalind Cash and something, or Paula Kelly, these black actresses. I'm like, wow, they're beautiful. And they're in the TV, and I want to do that. I want to tell the story. I was always in love with the telling of the story.
Okay.
Not just being famous, that's not my thing. I love to be a part of telling the story. So I wanted to be a part of important storytelling. And it's getting there. I've done some good stuff, but I'm like, no, you have to be a part of the story. And I love that. That's what makes it click for me.
Right. I love that. And then when was it where you were like, okay, I'm going to go for acting and this is what I want to do?
I may have been 15, 16. I started taking classes, doing the headshot thing, and, background work. Back in the day when I started, there was no internet. There was no just hitting a button and sending your picture to 100 casting directors. We were doing footwork, or every so often you had to get 100 count box of manila envelopes. 100 pictures with your resume on the back, and go to the post office and pay, or run around Manhattan and try and sneak stuff under people's doors, and it was not fun or cheap.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Thousands of photos later.
Right.
The business itself has changed. I mean, now you don't even have to be in the room with the casting director to audition. You have self-tape.
And I love your range, because when did you find out you were funny?
You know what's crazy? I have an aunt. Shout out to my Aunt Janelle. That's my dad's youngest sister. And she and I spent a lot of time together. And she was very funny. But she was also sort of hedonistic. So I grew up at her knee, kind of, and I thought like her in certain ways. I may not have verbalized things, but between us, I was always telling the joke between us. And with us, I'm like, okay. And she's like, wow, you're funny. I said, I know, you're funny too. But I was dared into comedy by another comedian when I first started the Uptown Comedy Club. I used to work at the body shop in the Village, the first one. And comedian Will Sylvan, shout out to Will too. He used to come in all the time. I'd help him get his little soaps and stuff. And he's like, you're funny. You should come to the Uptown Comedy Club. I was like, I'll come and see you. I'm not going to come and do anything.
Right.
I went to the Uptown Comedy Club, 125th Street. I saw him. And then the following week or two, he kind of dared me into getting up there and doing it. And it was Super Bowl Sunday. So the club was packed with women. And it was phenomenal. I got the bug. I was like, wow.
From that.
Because you had to pass, I think you had to go up 3 times in a row and get, really big response to get passed over into, being able to perform at the club. And every Sunday it was crazy. And I was like, okay, I'm a comedian too now. All right. And people who knew me were like, you didn't even talk in school. How'd you get funny? I was like, I didn't talk to you. The people I talked to knew. I didn't talk to you. Yeah, I still can't believe it sometimes. Because people, I get this all the time, but I'm actually very shy. I'm always on in public as a comedian or an actress, but I'd rather be at home most of the time alone. People don't know that. I'm a loner. Every single experience holds something to be learned. Whether it's a positive, a negative, good, bad, what have you. You're learning something in that. You have to pay attention. Pay attention to learning different things and taking something away, especially the worst days.
That holds to where, even in life, that every day you should be learning something.
Absolutely. It sounds corny, but you should. Because it's a journey. You grow in a journey. You want to grow old. You don't want to just get old.
Right.
You want to grow old.
Right.
Always be professional and early. Not on time, early.
Right, because on time is late.
On time is late. And again, it has to do, most of the time we're taking a subway or a bus through the city to get to where we're going. You're going to be frazzled, a little disheveled, maybe sweating.
Right.
Your makeup may not be right. You have to get your mindset right. You need a moment to breathe. And even if it's in the bathroom, that's for you. Right. That's for you. And and sometimes I've walked into auditions, I've been on time, which I don't like, and they'll haul you right in. I'm like, I'm not ready.
Right.
With my other 20 minutes, I get here 20 minutes early, but that train is not
Right.
on the side. So,
Right.
you know.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had that too, and I'm like, wait, I can't, maybe I should have not seen you so you don't see me.
Just go straight to the bathroom and hide.
Right.
Because if they see you, they're going to call you like,
in.
oh,
It's
come
true.
on, this
It's
is
true.
my time.
It's true. They're like, no, you early. Come in.
We see you. Get in here.
Okay.
We will lose focus, but always bring yourself back to the center. It's part of the journey. Get up again and again and again.
Okay.
And I say that because I don't like to say I quit. I walked away for a while, several times. So when people come up to me and say, oh wow, you stuck with it, you never gave up. No, I've given up a couple of times. I just always come back.
So I'm, even between this time, what moment, now I want to go back before we started your 5 things, but what moment was that, or how long ago was that where you felt like, I'm done? Or I need a break?
A year or two ago, a year or two, because again, now this is the tricky part, because people will see that you got something big and think that that's it.
Right.
And it's not. I'm like, I did that last year, and I'm a scale actress. That check has been spent. You have no idea.
Right.
You have no idea. I got 3 days left on this Metro card.
Right.
I gotta get something.
Right.
You know, so when it looks like things are here and leveling off, they're not in this business. You know when you're working? When you're at work.
Right.
We're independent contractors, each one of us. The job is today.
Right.
I don't know about next week.
Right.
And even if I get a job next week, what about the week after that?
Right.
You don't know. You don't know. So living in that space and again trying to stay healthy and not get down on yourself and like I can't take this no more. Oh my goodness, I'm not rich. Or, you know, you have to keep your mind healthy.
And 4. Now we say 4.
4, real 4, actual 4. Know the business of your business and your work. You know, sometimes when we do things we enjoy, people think we're always having fun. Not always having fun. I'm at work and I enjoy it. It gets difficult. And you cannot look like you're having a hard time. No matter how hard the day is. You know, and there are things in the business itself that I didn't understand early on. Because if someone said, oh, I like what you did, I like your work, you know, I'll go in and talk to a person or whatever, and I automatically think, oh, they like me. No, they might be interested in what you can do because this is a business.
Right.
Can you sell something for them?
Right.
They don't know you.
Right.
And I'm smiling and friendly, even though I'm alone.
Right.
Oh, my sister always says, oh, you always like people. I like people, they like me. She's like, no, they don't.
Okay, you said continue to train. We'll start with this first part. Continue to train.
Absolutely. You're never done. You're never done. And you know, you may have heard people say Will Smith still takes classes, Denzel still takes classes. It's not about not knowing. It's about the things you can discover about yourself and in moments. Because I find when I'm working, I know if I've done well, if I'm satisfied or not. But sometimes some of my best work is done in moments that I wouldn't be able to discover or uncover had I not had different tools.
Right. And you have
exercise your acting muscles. They're muscles. You don't want them to atrophy. No matter how good you may be today.
Right.
You exercise, so you strengthen. You strengthen.
What's the easiest way?
In terms,
not necessarily easy, but the most practical, like that you can do without going anywhere.
A mirror, a bathroom mirror. Yeah, because sometimes in acting, if you look at yourself, literally look at yourself, you can force yourself in and out of certain boxes as an actor. Okay. You know, I don't like to look at myself. That's why I make myself look at myself. I don't like to look at myself. What are you looking at? What are you seeing? You're an actor, but it's your job to act or become these people. Right. I force myself to become the person in the mirror through the lines, but that's how I exercise the muscle. You have to do it. I'm look at myself. You know, look at yourself. My neighbors hear me talking to myself all the time. Like I'm working down here.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you. Sign off, please.
Thank you, dear. Bye.